Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. So, are you struggling with boredom or the loss of freedom or just the uncertainty of what's going to happen next during these crazy times? Well, I'm going to share with you 6 tips to avoid going stir crazy during a self quarantine. Stay tuned. Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, the power of possibility, passion, and purpose. And we're going through some crazy time right now. I'm sure we'll look back on this podcast and go, wow, I remember that moment, and it'll be over and done. But right now, it's making a big, huge impact with this COVID-19 virus that's going around. What is it, the coronavirus or whatever they're calling it. I'm often naming that from time to time. But as people across the world are being asked to stay home during this outbreak, and many people are starting to experience this stir crazy sort of thing, or this feeling of where something's feeling like it's being taken away, and we're having to come up with a different routine. Whether I think I'm here in the United States, and as we're going from state to state, which are doing lockdowns or hunker downs or whatever people are calling it, basically the stay at home sort of thing, except for being able to get out for, grocery stores, those essential sort of things, people are feeling locked in. Now, there's some great ways to overcome that, and I'm going to share those things with you. Now, this comes at a time, my wife and I could see what was going on. Even a few weeks ago, we knew that the potential of people needing to not only stay in their house, but mandatory lockdowns to stay put was going to be happening. So we bumped up a move date. We were going to move back into our house in Boise, Idaho, which we're in right now, at the end of April of 2020. But as of the middle of March, we were like, we need to get going. Otherwise, we could potentially be denied travel. So we made the move, and everything went successfully. But as we're going, and we're now in our house and being able to unpack and do those things, there's some undue stress and things that are going on. And as we're communicating with people online, we've got some great communities online on Facebook and other platforms. We're realizing that many people are stressed, and a lot of times people they're just having to come up with a different plan or different daily routine. So here we are. Many of us, we've been told that we need to plan for at least 14 to 21 days. Hopefully we have our fridges and our pantries filled with food. We have on-demand movies and on-demand workouts where you possibly have loved ones that are in the other room. Maybe they're online. So now that you're home for a few weeks, that really shouldn't be that big of a challenge, should it? I know anytime people have a major disruption in their routine, and we lose this routine that we had of going to school or work or attending social events, it can give us a jolt of stress. It's like when things are taken away from us, it can really affect our mood too. Because we like connecting with others and having productive days and exercising and moving about and having that freedom, well, boredom can sometimes set in, and having that sense of loss of freedom or the uncertainty of what's going to go on in the future can seem overwhelming. So I'm going to give you some ideas on how to avoid going stir crazy when events that to just automatically happen in your life are canceled. Restaurants are closed, and streets have become ghost towns, and your house becomes your daily world. Here's some great tips. Number 1, focus on the good you're doing for others. You are doing your part by not helping others to become vulnerable to getting sick, especially the people who are at risk. So you're doing something valuable just by staying home. That should weigh a lot for you. Be a big part of that. Just focus on the good that you're doing for others. Another one, Have a daily routine. Let me repeat that again. Have a daily routine. Wake up at a consistent time, get dressed, eat when you normally would eat, make time for exercise, stick to your healthy lifestyle. This can be a time to get things done that you wish you didn't have time, that you didn't have time for before, and you've been putting off. So I'll allude to that in a little bit, but develop yourself a daily healthy routine. Sitting around in your PJs, it might seem like a great thing to do, maybe for a little bit, but you don't want that to be overcome into like a lazy habit for you. Next one is to journal, just a simple journal. It can be documenting the strange times that we're going through. It could be, because this can eventually be, some sort of memorable therapeutic thing that you could go back and look at, the big quarantine of 2020 and what all happened. You can write about things that you're seeing in the news, how your friends are responding, what sort of things, places are closed, things that you did while you were at home, putting your worries down on paper, getting them out of your head, writing down things that you're grateful for. Great time for journaling. Next one is to be realistic and keep an objective point of view. Our brains love drama, and brains love, they're constantly looking for a story to justify our fears. It's like, oh my gosh, is this story true? And then we go out and seek to find out, is it true? And hope to find that answer to justify that fear. So resist thinking that way. Stay informed by getting your information from reliable, trusted sites, and question those rumors. There's lots of rumors out there, and there's really some crazy, wild advice as well. And I'm always seeing people share these big messages and to forward it on to somebody else on Facebook, and it's like this massive chain letter that you've got to question. And a lot of times if you do, you go to Snopes. What is that? SNOPS.com. No, I'm wrong. SNOPES.com. You can check the facts to see what they're pretty up to date on what's going around. And I also heard this recently in an article. I really love this. To not only do the social distancing stuff, but to also do self-distancing. That's removing yourself from those negative thoughts and feelings, even when you're feeling challenged. It's giving yourself grace when you have to make challenging decisions. Just taking a moment back and imagine if there was a friend in the same situation, what advice would you give that friend? Or imagine yourself 20 years from now. What would your older, wiser self tell yourself that you would have wanted to do, that you would have wanted to happen? The next one, as I alluded before, take on those projects that you wished you had the time for before and you've been putting off. Now it's a golden time to be able to take on those projects. Right now, we happen to be in middle of a big move, so we can declutter. Maybe you want to declutter. Maybe brush up on all your, what is it, her name? Marie Kondo? Is that her name? The lady that helps you get organized. But think about gardening, repairing things, organizing, writing your book that you're wanting to do, staying busy and productive, and using just this opportunity to make a big difference on your mindset. Maybe it's reading books, things that are empowering to yourself. And lastly, I'll leave you with this: it's to build those relationships. We have ways now with technology to stay connected with family and friends using text, FaceTime, Zoom, video chats, things like that. I've heard a lot of people doing some really creative things there. Everything from doing a virtual happy hour to doing a virtual game night. Just doing those things and gather. Another thing I think would be very important is to gather with an uplifting, supportive group of people. That's what we started doing because we're in the health and fitness space. We created a free group, and I think we're close to 400 people that have joined us so far, where we're supporting each other with health, fitness, happiness, recipes, all sorts of things that people can do for free with their families, with their kids. It's so awesome. So getting together with people who will lift you up and not stress you out. If your entire family is staying at home, it's a great opportunity to connect in ways that might otherwise get pushed aside because of our crazy busy lives, right? So those are some things that I think can really help you through this, just to keep from being stir crazy. And if you would like more amazing ways to put yourself first and to actually give yourself some structure during this crazy time, then grab my free Success Habits Master List. It's packed with routines, rituals, tips, and strategies to move you from feeling chaotic and overwhelmed to feeling grateful and healthy and happy and focused and fulfilled. It's absolutely free, and you can find that at morningsuccesshabits.com. Once again, that's morningsuccesshabits.com. That's all I have for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you so much. And please share, subscribe, and leave an honest rating and review in your podcast app. That will help others discover this podcast and be able to benefit. And it will also give you some major positive vibes from the universe. I just have a hunch about that. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.